Okay. What is your name?
My name is Travis Thomas.
When and where were you born?
Born in Dallas, Texas, 1992, June 18th.
Where'd you grow up?
Irving, Texas.
All right. How do you define West Texas?
West Texas is different from the rest of Texas. It's more desert and mountains than green grass and trees.
Okay. Where does West Texas begin?
I would say West Texas begins Odessa, Midland area, and then on to El Paso.
Okay. What do you think the difference is between West Texans and Texans from other regions of the state?
I would say maybe the ethnicity in West Texas is more Spanish and Hispanic people. Other than from East Texas is more white to African Americans than the West.
Okay. How would you characterize West Texans' relationship to the military?
They strongly support it just because there is the largest army installation in West Texas, and there's also little installations on the way through West Texas. So I'd say they support them and are happy that they're in their city.
Hmm. When and where did you enter in the armed forces?
I entered in the Army in 2013, February 11th in Dallas, Texas.
What were your years of service?
I did a total of 4 years.
During your years of service, were you primarily in the enlisted ranks, a non commissioned officer, an officer, or a warrant officer?
I was in the enlisted.
All right. In which military conflict did you take part?
Enduring freedom in Afghanistan
Why did you enlist in the armed forces?
to make a difference in the country and to fight for what I believe in.
What was your training like?
Training was difficult coming from not doing a lot of physical stuff to going 0 to 100 every single day from 4 o'clock in the morning until 11 o'clock at night. It was just difficult.
So, how was it? So, you went from basic training straight to overseas, or did you spend some time on base before you went overseas?
I spent I spent a total of 6 months on base before deploying and two training rotations, one in El Paso, Texas, and one in California, NTC, Fort Irwin.
Okay. What were race relations like when you enlisted?
Can you repeat the question?
What were race relations like when you were enlisted?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Like, was there any racism? Was it very diverse? Different
Oh,
ethnicities, different races.
it was very diverse. Basic training, we had a lot of ethnicity, and when I got to Fort Bliss, I was surprised that there was a lot more ethnicity than I thought there would be.
But everyone seemed to get along. There wasn't any, you know, race bashing, like hateful racism.
No, no, there was nothing like that. If there was something that would be hateful, it'd be like where you're from, like what city or what state, just because people thought their city or state was better.
Okay. All right. Did you find your service challenging?
At times, I did. There was just certain points that I found were difficult, but I overcame them.
Okay. What conception do you have of the United States at the time of your enlistment? Like, how did you feel about the United States whenever you enlisted?
I felt we were strong, and then as the years went on in my enlistment, I just felt like the Army in general. I can only speak for the Army, but the Army in general has gone downhill from there due to just little things like kicking people out of the Army, budget cuts and stuff like that.
Hmm. What did America symbolize to you at the time of your enlistment?
I thought it more of as freedom, and I thought it more of as freedom and a great country to live in.
Hmm. So you said you were deployed overseas. What did you understand about the mission you were being asked to complete?
I understood the mission pretty well. The mission we were given was not as difficult as many other missions that were given to other units. We did have difficult times several months out of the deployment, but as a unit and as a company, we overcame them.
Mm. What units did you serve in during your deployment?
The unit I served in was Bravo Company 141, 3rd Brigade at Fort Bliss.
Did you serve in direct combat during your deployment?
Yes.
And were you wounded in action?
No.
Did you ever become a prisoner of war?
No.
And what did you think of the local inhabitants that you encountered?
Oh, it was definitely different from any other places I've been. Going from housing or cities, it's just different. It's a different economy over there, different religion, and they just have a different way of life than what we're used to over here in the States.
So, but most encounters were good encounters, right?
Yes, we linked up with elders in each village we went to, and they were just really friendly and willing to help us out looking for the Taliban or the bad guys in that area.
When you interacted with local inhabitants, what do you think their conceptions were of the United States?
They really don't like the United States just because they think that we think they're better, that we're better than them.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to it, it's just who believes in their religion and who believes in their country more and stands by their country.
Did you ever engage them in conversation about what America meant to you?
Not with any of the locals, I didn't.
How did your service influence or affect your family at home?
They for sure missed me, but they definitely are proud of me for stepping up and taking that oath to defend my country and fight for all the people over here.
Okay, so they kind of just understood, what you were doing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What are your most vivid memories of your time in service?
Vivid memories. I would say definitely the training event in Fort Irwin, California, just because we were just going nonstop every single day for 2 weeks, and the whole deployment was just a great memory for me because I met people, great friends, learned a lot of stuff, saw a lot of things that I would normally not see as somebody would see over here in the States, just a civilian.
Did you want to expand on those things?
Do what?
Did you want to expand on those things that you saw?
Like the things I saw overseas in Afghanistan is just I saw some kids, playing, and we would go do training events, and they would pick up our brass from our ammo that we shot because that's how they make their money. They go sell it in markets, and that's how they make their money as kids and as individuals. I also saw that in their religion they how how can I, how explicit can I be in this? Like how vulgar?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay. Like in the religion, they don't believe in having sex with a female. They rather have sex with a male or with a animal before engaging in sexual relationships with a female, unless they are married. It's just in the religion, and something that I saw while I was over there. It wasn't right to me. It was disturbing.
Hmm.
I also saw an IED blow up. They blew up one of our trucks. That was pretty intense and scary for the whole company because we thought we lost people or someone was injured. And thankfully, nobody got injured but the truck, and the truck was just obliterated, and there was nothing left of it. And
That's crazy.
we were also cleaning up the base that we were at to move to a new base, and we also found dead animals and dead animal parts that we had to burn to get rid of because we couldn't leave them there because people could get sick, and we wanted to take care of their land and their people and at their local villages.
Hmm. What sort of technology did you use in the service?
There's a lot of technology I've used. It ranges from computers, um, mine detecting equipment, satellite link radios, cameras up in the sky that gave us 360 security, anywhere from night vision goggles, uh, just a lot of stuff that I would have never used in the civilian life.
Hmm. So, um, do you think you're gonna expect to face any challenges when you return to civilian life? If yes, what
Oh yeah,
challenges?
yes, definitely, and I feel that's going to be a challenge to go from that mentality of having that steady job and that steady mindset of being in the military, from going to always getting a great paycheck and always having great benefits to going from civilian to searching for a job, searching for good benefits and going to school. It's just going to be a change. And that's the most downfall of people, and that's how we get homeless vets, is
Hmm.
because they can't transition to that lifestyle as a civilian.
So, do you feel like the army is doing a good job in preparing, the soldiers that are getting out of the military for the civilian life?
There is classes and a lot of stuff open for those people that are getting out. Uh, it's just who takes that opportunity to do those classes and set themselves up for success, so they're not out there for a long period of time living off of family members or on the streets. And it's just who wants it more than anything.
Hmm. Did being from Texas shape your years in service in any way?
Did what?
Did being from Texas shape your years in service in any way?
I wouldn't say it shaped anything differently. It's just, we meet people from different states and see different cultures that they come from, and it's just a great experience. I wouldn't say Texas or California or any other state has an impact.
Hmm. So, after your time in the military, do you think your conception of the United States is going to change?
Oh, definitely not.
So, at the end of your service, how are you going to feel about it looking back?
I'll definitely miss it, and it'll always be something that is going to be a great experience, and I'll be proud of myself, and that I could teach my kids and show my kids, hey, I did this, and if you join, you'll be doing the same thing, if not different.
Hmm. So, do you have any advice for the young men and women who are just entering the service?
My advice to them is just go at it full force. Don't test the waters. Just go in it. Do everything your leadership tells you and teaches you. Take it all in. soak that in and take everything with a grain of salt.
So overall, would you like to share anything about your service? Anything else?
Mm. Make sure the young people that are coming in just study and study and study and still try to go to college part time and get some kind of degree as you rank up in the service. It'll help out a lot, and I wish I did it, but I didn't. But that'd be my only thing I could share right now, besides all the other stuff that I've already said.
Hmm. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it, unless you wanted to talk about something else involving your
No,
service.
I think I'm good.
Alrighty, well, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.